Hi, everyone. I'm Vincent Joe.
Hi, I'm Kathy Reed.
And I'm Allison Reed.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Grace.
We're from the Haydenettes.
I am Mark Henretti.
Ciao a tutti, siamo Rebecca Ghirardi
e Filippo Ambrosini
e vi diamo il benvenuto a
This Weekend Skating.
Welcome to This Week in Skating, the weekly podcast bringing you the latest news from the world of figure skating. Here are your hosts, Daphne, Gina, and Matteo.
If you were a fan of skating in the 90s, you'll remember our guest today.
Nicole Bobek was the 1995 U.S. National Champion, 1995 World Bronze Medalist, and she also competed at the 1998 Winter Olympics.
Now she's back telling her story in a new book called Bobek, The Wild One, the untold story of figure skating's most defiant star.
So we're excited to welcome Nicole to This Week in Skating. Welcome!
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get into our questions, I want to show you what I have. Can you see it? It is the Campbell's Soup mug with your signature on it. I still use it for my soup. I don't know how much soup I had to buy to get this mug, but that was the thing in the 90s, and so I still have it. I wanted to show you.
That is amazing. I feel like such a relic. Literally.
Campbell's soup was a really big thing.
It was a huge thing. I mean, it was an amazing company to be a part of. They were also at that time, there was a period where they were the head founders, not head founders, but the sponsors of Champions on Ice with Tom Collins. So we had all of these like Campbell Soup jackets and t-shirts and, I still have stuff at my mom's house. It's like a museum. What do you do with that stuff? I mean, literally. So, we did lots of events, and then the commercial for the Campbell Soup was a big thing. And it was so great to be a part of that. Awesome. Really.
Yeah, I remember they were a big sponsor for a while, and I remember the Champions on Ice tour. I miss it because I feel like Tom really brought together all these international stars as well as US stars. So you got like an experience of people who were in the US plus abroad, and just it was a broad spectrum of figure skating, and I loved that so much. My first tour I ever went to was Champions, and it was 1998, and it was just so fun. Watching live skating for the first time it was an incredible thing.
Definitely. I mean, literally with any sport, though, you watch when, you're big fans, but when you see it live, it's like, whoa, oh my gosh. And then also put on a show stage with lights and costumes and fun music. I mean, that was our real fun time to go out there and just do whatever. And we had the power, like we want to do a lot of jumps or we want to do little jumps or whatever. It was so much fun. I mean, we were like touring like rock stars. Absolutely.
It really seemed like it at the time. It was just so amazing. And the atmosphere, just being in the arena and with other fans, watching this and experiencing this with people who love it too, was just something to be, it was just something I loved. I enjoyed it so much. So from both sides of it, you as a performer and then me as a fan, there was just something really special about it. And I still miss it.
Yeah, you have to understand, like, our fans are what make us too. Of course we're competitors and all this kind of stuff, but without you guys, what do we have like to give back to people? That excitement or that show quality, our fans are so important even till today. My few fans that I have on Instagram, I started, Instagram, and it started like, I remember I was so excited when I had like 200 followers. I was like, oh my God, like people remember me, and it didn't matter if they were, 90s people or they were, adult skaters or these things. I was like, oh, wow. And I just gradually were like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Let people in my life where I'm at now. And I think I hit the 5,000 mark like last week. And I was like, I know it's not huge, but for me, I've done it organically and really fun. And nothing crazy that's going to be like, oh, we're going to follow her, because she's off the rocker. But just authentically myself out there and letting people a part of my life, watching me dance in the kitchen, me with my son, me attempting to skate again, skating to whatever I want to skate to music wise, and just having a great time.
I think people appreciate the authenticity. I think they appreciate being able to see the real you versus sometimes you see some of the influencers on Instagram and you're just kind of like, it looks like they have a cool life, but then you find out there are things going on. And I think people appreciate the rawness and the realism more than a facade.
Right. No, I mean, I try to, I don't, of course we all struggle, we go through things. I really always, I'm a big fan of really inspirational quotes. Like I find sometimes when I get stuck in a rut with something, I'll get on an algorithm of really good quotes or somebody talking about a situation they were in that I find like, oh my God, I'm going through that. I'm not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps me, actually. That really, really helps me. And so it's good stuff. It can be promoted the right way. I try not to, I don't want to bring people down or like I don't post anything for 3 days and I get like, are you okay? I'm like, dude, I'm good. I have a 5-year-old. Bear with me. I'll work with me there.
Yes. Kids will keep you busy. They definitely do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get started talking about your book here. Why did you decide this was the right time to write a book?
I think I really came to the decision because I was old enough and also becoming a mom. Everything changed for me that I saw things completely different than when I didn't have a child. And it's really interesting because you're just your eyes, you see things different. As much you're like, no, this was like this and this is how I feel about it. And then you have a child and you're like, oh, I got it now. You kind of sit back and go, now I get it. And for me, I've always said that I feel that that's my superpower with writing this book, is that now I see it through such different eyes, opposed to whenever I was going through something or my life wasn't unsettled or I didn't feel in alignment with what was going on in my life, that this was a good time, that I've lived so many lives already. And when you read the book, you'll see that it's not just fundamental skating stories. There's so much more life into it as well. There's IVF, there's divorce, there's a child, there's breakups. There's so much, there's so many flavors in this book. It's like when I read it, I'm like, well, wait a minute, but I live that. You know what I mean? It's so amazing that it's not just only a skating book. So I really hope it reaches all different kinds of people going through situations or just regular everyday stuff that you don't think superstars go through. We do, big time. So, I want to reach a lot of people with a lot of things and also not to give up on stuff. I mean, sometimes I read it and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, but wait a minute, I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still getting up every morning. I'm still fighting gravity with my body. I'm going through everything right now. And it's like, but I'm still showing up. I'm still there. I'm not giving up. And for people, when they go through something really hard, not to give up, that you can have all the friends help or whatever and all this kind of stuff. But unless you make that conscious decision that you want to better yourself, it's not going to happen. So you can manifest, absolutely, but manifestation doesn't work unless you put the work in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I think too, you never know who you can inspire not to give up. And that can be a very powerful thing. Because as you said, we all go through things no matter what it is, and it's a struggle. And I always see these things online. Oh, you don't know what other people are going through, or walk a mile in someone else's shoes. And
Or ice skates.
Yeah, or ice skates. And the flip side of that is you don't know what you say that can inspire someone else or help someone come to a decision where they want to make changes to better themselves. And as I said, it's a powerful thing. It's inspirational, and it's kind of like it puts me in awe of how one person can affect so many people and not even realize that they're doing it. And it's an amazing thing, and it can change things.
Somebody's downfall can actually be someone's survival guide.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even realize, I mean, we are all wired differently in how we respond to things and how we also recover from things. What works for one may not work for you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's about really digging deep and finding out, okay, what is my niche? What do I need? Is it the Instagram postings of sayings? Maybe it is for me. Maybe it's I need to go to the beach and watch the sunrise every morning and cry for hours,
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, do these kind of things. Everyone has to kind of find their own niche, but you might be able to have some kind of power to spark with someone going, I know exactly what she went through, but wait, hey, she's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And she, you know, I kind of believe sometimes we dig our own graves sometimes, and it's about us getting out of those graves and reaching for the hands that are there to help us. And if there are no hands, then girl, you got to climb,
Mm-hmm.
get out of there. So
Yeah,
I think this book will really get to a lot of people.
yeah, you have to create your own escape strategy is what you have to do. And if you're lucky, you have people there to support you. And if not, you have to start it on your own. But what I found is often you find people along the way that will support you if you let them.
Yes.
And that's another big part of it, is being willing to open yourself up to letting someone else be the hand that you need to grab.
Right. And that can be very difficult for some people, either out of stubbornness or even just the basic, I have trust issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like saying you're going to help me, but can I really trust that you're going to help me if I open that door and let you completely in? Are you just going to disappear at some point? So it is difficult also to get to that point of, can I trust this process?
Mm-hmm.
And convincing yourself, like, I need to trust the process even when it goes south.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That these are things happening. We don't know the reasons always. We don't have the answers. We don't come with manuals, especially children. So maybe mine can be kind of a mini manual for some people, hopefully. And the fact that I have the power to do something like this is overwhelming. It's been 6 months of nonstop work. I mean, twice a week, an hour and a half to almost 2 hours. And there were breakdowns, there was breakthroughs. Some things I thought I would cry about, I actually didn't. And then other things I thought I would be stronger on, I just lost myself. So I learned a lot also during the making of this book, basically, you know, and my editor, Todd, and the writer, Caden, they were always very patient, very understanding. I had Caden in tears a few times. And, you know, they were always like, do you need a break? Do you need a few days? And I was like, no, let me have a good hard cry today. Let me just be exhausted tomorrow. But I felt like if I don't keep moving, I might get stuck. And I don't want to get stuck. I want to move forward with this. I want to just let it go. Time to let it go.
I was going to ask you a little bit about the process of putting this book together. So did you like sit down and just relive everything over and over again? And then were there things that you were like, look, I don't want to even like talk about that or mention that in this book?
I pretty much, well, what we did, we really just unloaded and did everything. And then once, you know, you go through the process of making a book, you know, there's a few that go on where the things need to be edited. So we did talk about things that are not in the book, because it just resolved everything also for them to understand me as well. And then reading it, you know, then you see it, you read it kind of differently. Like it's hard to read about your own life, kind of. I have to read it like with different eyes. And I'd come back and I'd be like, we have to take that out. That's not good. I have also considerations. I have to worry about my safety. I have a child. There are a lot of different things. And also, my child will read this book one day, and maybe some of the stories are too personal to put in that book, that it's something I need to talk to him about, not because he read it or a friend said, oh, I read your mom's book and this and this and this. So I have a huge responsibility just on that. Yeah.
So how long?
Not easy.
Yeah, not easy at all. How long have you been working on this?
So we've been working a total of, now it's like 7 months.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's a lot of work. Did you feel a lot of like catharsis going through this process too? I'm sure you must have, just reliving things and talking about it. It must have been therapeutic.
It was therapeutic and really sad also. When it was the skating stuff, the greatest thing is, we went from basically birth to each year and what events and what took place, where we were and stuff. Now, I had the biggest, greatest cheat sheet in the world, and that is my mom. Okay. She has all of those albums, like since I was born to 98, with pictures and dates. And so I knew what we were going to talk about the next day. So I'd go to her house and we'd do a total cheat sheet. She would refresh my memory. And it's incredible the things that she remembers as to what I remember too. And it was hard, not for her as well, because I was like, and she would tell me something, I'd be like, I don't remember that at all. And she's like, oh, but you were like this. And then some things I'd be like, no, I didn't feel that way. You know what I mean? So we actually, our relationship, which has always been very deep, got even deeper during this process, because it's incredible how it was through her eyes at that point in time, opposed to how it is now. And so it's like almost us relearning each other all over again after, years of it. It's just incredible. But this is the power of me being a parent now, is like so many things I like questioned before. And I'm like, I see what you did there. I got it. Yeah. And nothing but full respect, 100%. Like, I got you. Because, I do understand. I think parents play a very important role for skaters, because they're driving them, they're doing the skates, they're doing the hair, they're doing, they're networking, they're doing all this, driving from rink to rink to rink to rink, and all this kind of a stuff. They're kind of the root of also, yeah, we do the work out there, but we need to get to the rink. So, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's the people behind the scenes that also make it work.
Yep.
It really takes a village.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there's a lot behind the Wizard of Oz going on.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. But the man behind the curtain's making everything work.
Right.
That's right.
Keeping things going.
Exactly.
Before we get much deeper, when is the book scheduled to come out?
October 8th.
Excellent.
Yeah. And we're still editing. That's why I can say that we're actually still working on things, deciding on pictures, how we want to do stuff. And it's a long process. I mean, it's a hard, long process. That's all I'm going to say.
I think anyone we've talked to that has written a book has said the same thing. Like, there's just so many pieces that go into it. It's so much bigger than just sitting down and writing words.
Definitely. And especially if you want to really, my life was very public. So, and this was hard also about saying what's going on and stuff that was written, and also time frames of getting everything correct on the time frame, because you're going to get skating people that are going to go, that happened the year before. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So it gets very kind of like important to cross those T's and dot those I's. And Todd and Caden had to do extensive research on articles, TV things, whatever, just so much, even more than I even knew about, which is just crazy. But that's what goes into making a great book.
Yeah. Skating fans are incredibly detail oriented.
Oh, yeah. They don't forget anything.
They don't. They do not forget. They will point out if someone makes a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
We've had fans point things out to us before.
Gosh.
You just you do the best that you can. It's a lot to remember. I mean, you had your career and beyond, the time after. And I think people read things online and they think they understand a situation, and then a book comes out and they realize, oh, well, I thought it was this way because this is what was told to me, but this is really what was going on.
You can go on, Google, and I'm like worth like $2 million. I'm like, really? Where
is it? Where's the $2 billion? Is it hidden?
We need an access code. Like, where is it? Seriously, it's sometimes information is absolutely not correct. And it's really hard because once it's out there, it's out there. And, people are really quick to even destroy a comeback. People love to watch a train wreck.
They do.
Oh, that car that crashed on the side of the road, that it backs up quick, all because the car's on the side. We all have to stop and look like this.
Yes, it's rubbernecking. It's so annoying. I mean, you plan to go somewhere and you're driving down the road and suddenly you're at a standstill because someone is changing a tire on the side of the road.
Yeah, and you're like, you look at it like you've never seen somebody change. It's like, really? That's why we were backed up? Give me something better than that?
Yeah. I'm like, now I'm 20 minutes late because one person started it.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going. And it's incredibly annoying. But you're right. I think people, they like that train wreck story or that complicated story that they can look at and, it's the bad girl of figure skating, or look what they did, the drama. They like the drama.
The trauma, the baby mama, like there's so much into it. And it's hard because I kind of have to sit back and be like, look, this can be a very 50-50 book. You know what I mean? Half of the people are going to love you for it. The other half are going to be like, really? You know what I mean? So that all I can really give to you guys about the book is actual facts of what happened with stuff. And that's, if you want to take it in and realize that, hey, she went through a lot of stuff, but she's still going, she's still here, she's got a major responsibility in her life, and she's gotten her life back together, and I commend her for it. Or you're going to get the people who be like, yeah, she's still a mess. Whatever. You have to get, I think at some point you're kind of like, well, wait a minute. Are you here? Are you paying my bills? Are you taking care of me? You're not. So I need to move forward on with my life. And I do believe that this book, there'll be a lot more people that are going to be more for the win instead of not watching me, still crawl on the ground.
And there's a whole new generation of skating fans that may not have watched you skate, but can still learn from this story that you're telling.
Absolutely.
And I know we'll definitely share it on our socials as soon as it launches. I'm looking forward to reading it. Are there any plans like for an audiobook?
I believe there will be. There's going to be softcover, hardcover. I think there's going to be 3 different editions and possibly like a limited series one, like a nice coffee table book where only so many will be made. And I know I love to do that when there's like, there's only 100 made. I have to be number 5 or, things like that. It's a total thing. It's a total thing.
Yeah.
And so we're audio book for sure. We're working, it's all progress, like you have to go through the steps of everything first. And it's still a lot of work.
It doesn't happen all at once.
I don't think we're going to stop till October, literally.
Okay.
So are you going to do your own audio book?
Oh, God, no. I don't think so. I don't speak clear enough. I still get a little lisp every now and then, and I love to use big words. I don't always put them in the right places, and that's fine. It comes from the heart, but an audio book would be really difficult for me.
Yeah, I love audiobooks.
So
You know, it's the easiest way to consume because I don't always have time to sit down and read a book. And so I've been.
Well, I've had to sit and read through this first copy, which we have to edit. So once it gets edited, then I will have to read it again.
Yep.
And I'm reading it on the computer, and I'm like, but I literally went through it in 2 days. Like, my writer and the editor were just like, I can't believe how fast you went through it. I said I couldn't stop reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's my life. You know, that's the craziest thing. Like, I think by probably the third or fourth time, I might be like, all right, I'm done with me. I'm good.
I've relived this so many times this time.
Yeah.
I think I know myself pretty good now.
Yeah, by October 8th, you probably will know it by heart. You don't need you know.
Yeah.
I'll be doing the Broadway show.
So you said in the press release that you want to tell the truth, not just about the skating, but about everything that nearly tore you apart. We don't want you to give any spoilers, like but you can tease if there are some things in the book that you think people may not be aware of that might intrigue them.
I think even just the fact of what you just said, that this is about me telling my truths about the things of what really went on and why they went on. And that's always interesting. People always, you know, the behavior of people sometime, you know, you're always like, where did that come from? Well, it does come from somewhere. And it can come from the past. It can come from your current relationship. It can come from deep down upsetness or sadness or something you just never got over. And this book, telling my side, because there's just so much yuck out there. I'm using yuck because I'd like to say a different word.
Yes.
On the internet, that it's like, yeah, that I can be able to use my voice. And that's important because when there's something written about you that is not fact, it's really hard to deal with. And it really breaks my heart. And people are very quick to judge on it or hold a grudge about it. And, you know, either people are going to accept that this is what really took place and that's it. But I know I feel pretty good about it. You know, and I think that's all I can tell you.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty big tease. I know I'm fascinated because because there were things that came out. I remember reading because in 95, 98 in there, that's when the internet started becoming a thing.
Thank God. If I would have had an iPhone when I was a teenager, oh my gosh.
Social media?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how I would have been today or what I would have become or really anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I look at kids today walking around, they've got a phone, they're 10 years old, they've got a phone, and I'm just like, I'm so glad I didn't have that constant draw as a kid. I was one of the last part of a generation where we went outside to play. Like, there were things that you did. It was not being on a phone. I mean, Nintendo was coming out. That was the beginning of things. Yeah. But I remember reading stuff like, oh, Nicole Bobek, did you know she smokes cigarettes? Or, you know, she doesn't train hard, or, you know, she's changing coaches.
This book is going to give you more definition of those things you've always heard.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because I think a lot of people always wonder, and also what happened and what have you done since then in your life? And this is, I mean, I wish I could tell every single thing, but it would be like an 1,000-page book.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is so much that goes on in our lives, but I really stuck with the real things that really people did know. There are quite a few things that people did not know, and I really had to open up and come clean about it, which is so hard because it's also coming clean with yourself. And that's always hard. You know, you have to realize you look at yourself in the mirror every morning, and if you can't look at yourself, you got a problem. You know, you got it.
And you're facing things. It wasn't like, oh yeah, these are things that happened and I never ever faced them. I just kept, I didn't address it.
Oh, no. I do speak in the book. This book is not a revenge on anyone. These are solidly my mistakes, and I own them. I carry my scars. I mean, that is what it is. And that's, I think, part of maturing and growing up, of not always finger pointing and saying, well, it's this one's fault or this one's fault or this one's fault. Because at the end of the day, things are your choices. Owning up, knowing when to step out, when it's time to step out, getting out of a situation that you know is not right. These are so essential life things that happen. And, some people are just given, like, they just know. And then others, they learn the hard way. And that was me.
Yeah.
But I'm good because it's kind of just made me how I am today.
Yeah. And it's your story.
Right.
And that's the thing. And I think people need to, people need to realize that going into reading this book this is the Nicole Bobek story, not the skating fans' version of Nicole Bobek's story.
Or the media's version.
Right.
Or the media's version.
I promise you, it is not a Disney movie.
Right.
So.
And I think people will appreciate that. I think it's always been
a little bit more Quentin Tarantino.
Yes. You know what? I like Quentin's movies, but more. Anyway, I mean, I'm into that. That's my thing.
Me too. But I think people also kind of, for a long time in the skating in the 90s, we were so idolized as these like perfect little princesses on the ice. And, I'm like, for instance, I have so many different sides to me. My wardrobe is ridiculous. I'm like, cowboy boots in the summer, combat boots once October hits. I'm a goth queen, like all like the decorations come out October 1st and come down like November 27th.
Right.
That my neighbors are like, can you take down the skeletons hanging from the tree now? I'm like,
no, I can't.
I can't. And, I skate to REO Speedwagon and I skate to, all different things that people are like, wow, she's all over the place. No, I'm not. I just love a lot of things.
Right.
And I like to protect it and I like to embrace it. And I think it's more fun.
Yes. And it's okay.
Right.
Like, it's okay. And I think
it's okay.
Yeah. Coming to that level of acceptance and encouraging it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Accept who you are. And it's okay that you like classical music, but you also like Nine Inch Nails. Like, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to like all of those things.
And I'm even transporting that to my son with music because I grew up with such a huge range of music. And, he loves, because he's a kid, he likes all the techno crazy stuff. But, he gets in the car the other day and he's like, play Led Zeppelin. I'm like, oh, my boy, so, and, it can be so many different genres. And it's so good that I'm able to give that to him. Like, this isn't a house where we only play this kind of music. We play everything.
Yeah.
So we can Jazzy Star, we can go Nirvana, we can go, John Bon Jovi, we can go anywhere, so, and that's, I think, really great.
Yeah.
And the 80s and 90s, I think, for music was a time to grow and be alive because it was from one side of the spectrum to the other and so enjoyable. And yeah, it was a really amazing time.
And we're going to hear a lot of 90s this season with the ice dance in the 90s, so...
No, but how fun we can go back to those too.
Yeah.
It's like when you go, I love themed parties where you have to dress up in theme because I think it's so much fun. And you go to a 70s party and you pull out the bell bottoms and or 60s or you want to be a disco queen or whatever. I think it's always so much fun. And that we're able to transport that back and bring back classics that are so essential in life. Like everyone knows I Will Survive. All generations. To have that power of that one song that you can pull it out, and if the audience is an older and a younger, they're both going to like that piece of music.
Yes.
And that's big.
Because that song has been remade by different artists, so it can touch multiple generations, whether it's Gloria Gaynor or Cake. Like, either way, it can really touch generations that way. And I appreciate that because then it truly is timeless.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
you have someone who's never heard the original and they hear it and they're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Yeah.
Right?
It's amazing.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So it's amazing we have that power. And I think being skaters, we have that chance to bring that out there. You know, it's such a big thing. I'm always a little bit, I'm a little bit funny about with skating now. I'm very critiquey, you know, because it was always really important to have that full package of the music, the costume matching, the music, you know, how's the hair, the jewelry, the makeup, everything. It just clean skates, clean laces. And when I see something off today, when I watch them, like,
yeah, because it's different.
Yeah.
It's such a different time.
Uh-huh.
And being a fan back then and then seeing things now, it is very different.
Very, very different. Sometimes I'm just kind of like, what did I just watch?
It's,
like,
yeah.
What was that music? Or like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it's very different.
Exciting though, too. It's really, you know, sports do need to evolve. And I mean, the fact of, you know, the boots and the blades now, how much they've evolved is like insane. It's just, you know, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I see it in like ski boots.
Yeah.
You know, those things are heavy, you know, and now they're like, you know, lighter than my dishes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even know how to comprehend. And now there's new ways to make costumes, and now you can use vocal, and there's all these things doing quads out the wazoo, and I'm just like, what am I entering here? You know?
It's
so
different.
Yeah, it is different. I am trying to get a little bit more into it because I do feel it's important. You know, I was there, you know, I know those feelings. I know what the kids go through and what it's like. And it's important for generations to know that I just didn't completely disappear, that I still was able to give something back to the sport and back to my fans, really. And that also comes with doing this book.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
And are you hoping that this book is going to help others who are maybe struggling with similar things or need something to inspire them?
Absolutely, not just in skating, but in life. And then for also parents to read maybe stuff they've gone through as well. So it really, it just goes on touches on so many subjects that I hope it will stretch the span of people who read it. Because I think there's pretty much something in there for everyone. Literally, it is a buffet.
So you had a lot of highs and lows in your career. Are there things you look back on that you were particularly really proud of? Or maybe things too that you were not as proud of?
Both. Definitely both. I mean, that's the thing of the realization of coming clean about stuff is accepting the mistakes you made and being an adult about it and not just drowning in them. Getting out of that, moving forward is really important because, you know, we could all be, oh, poor me, oh, poor me. This book is not about people to say, I'm so sorry what you went through, because you can't be. I put myself through a lot of stuff and I can own up to it. I'd rather hear, man, you pulled through and you're still moving forward. That's really, it's not about, as I said before, it's not a blaming game. It's not a finger pointing book. I take full responsibility for the things, for the successes and the messes.
Yeah, I think that probably one of the biggest questions that fans will have going into reading the book is, are you going to go into your fight with drug addiction?
100%. And I think that's important because it's very common knowledge. And how could I do a book and not talk about that stage of my life? It's impossible. It would be like, well, what facade is she putting on here?
Right.
You know, and that's why I was telling you, it touches so many different areas of life that even I'm kind of like, whoa, that was my life, you know, and now this is my life. So that's a powerful thing.
I remember as a fan when the news came out thinking, oh, that it's so incredibly sad, but also it showed that these people that fans often put on pedestals are real people with real vulnerability and the potential to go through what anyone else could face because drug addiction in particular is just one thing that happens, and it gets sometimes glossed over.
Right.
Like the seriousness of it, it is an illness. It is something that has to be treated. And I think with anything that is classified as addiction, sometimes people will think, oh, well, can't they just stop? And that's not real.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to reading your book and learning more about these pieces because I read, like anyone else, I read what was in the media.
I read them too.
Yeah. and we, you know, as fans of the sport, we only get to see skaters for what? 3 minutes, you know, for a weekend, a couple times a year. We never really know their whole story except for what gets put out in the media. So we never really know what the struggles you go through or the, you know, even the highs that you go through. None of that. All we get is what's on TV. And now you can't even watch things on TV. We're having to go through, you know, Peacock and all these streaming platforms just to watch skating, but we only get what is put out there, you know. And so, you know, for you to tell us what went on in this book is really, you know, it's good for fans.
It's eye-opening.
It's a very big thing because, you know, I think that as performers and athletes, we always want to share, you know, of course, the work, what we do that goes into how we perform or compete. But, you know, people love to see happy Nicole. They love to see me smile. But the fact is, I am not always happy. You know, people generally, you know, we cry. I'm tired. You know, I got bills. I got regular issues. My oil light is on in my car right now. You know, and I'm like, how far can I go? You know, I have regular human problems.
Yeah.
And I think this book really touches up on that. And, you know, but I do think we always want, I always promote things that really make me happy. And, you know, it's just kind of me. I don't want to, you know, go on there, you know, crying and be like, oh, I got ghosted again, you know, and this is my life. Well, guess what? We all do at some point. What I mean? So, you know, we always don't, the really unselfish people don't want people to suffer with us, you know, and that's a big thing. And, you know, like Robin Williams, we all didn't know we watched him he was the happiest. He made you laugh, like so many things. And yet he suffered severely with depression. You're like, how is that even possible? But it is a fact, you know, and he did hide. So this book there's not much hidden. So might be walking around with security soon.
I think it's important though. I mean, these are the stories that need to be told. And also, I think some skating fans, the newer skating fans, are not going to realize in the 90s, especially like 95, 94 through like maybe 2002, skating was at this intense popularity where it really was a rock star sensation. I mean, it was huge.
It was so huge. I mean, we were the number one most watched sport over football or anything. I mean, it was just this, you know, but look, it took something tragic to happen. That also people went, oh, look at this soap opera.
Exactly. They all did. 94. It kicked it off. And
and that's the thing that I keep hearing about. Oh, skating, and it's the thing that we cannot get away from.
Still.
And it's really sad because skating is a beautiful sport. And, to me, it's always been incredibly, the men were the athletics and the women were these beautiful, Peggy Flemings and, just gorgeous out there. And when that happened, made the sport so big and great. But, it also took away from what skating really truly is behind the drama. Let's look at the performance, not what's going on off the ice, kind of a feel.
Yeah.
So
I've always wished that more people would watch the sport and that it wouldn't take something like big drama to draw them in, because it's just beautiful on its own.
That's only the super, super devoted fans.
Yeah.
Then they're the ones who love the scandals of it.
Yeah.
So
I don't. I'm fine without the scandal.
That's the blade.
Yes.
I'm happy when it's just skating.
Yep.
One of the reasons why Gina and I started this podcast is we wanted not just to report the news, because we do have a weekly podcast where we just talk about all the stuff that's going on, but also to give skaters, past and present, an opportunity to tell their story without the gloss, without, the hairspray and the makeup and all the pretty things, to kind of lift the curtain a little bit, just to...
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I think some of them will a little bit. I think when you're competing still, we have a sole kind of responsibility not to just air out our dirty laundry so easily. You know what I mean? Now I'm in a position where I'm fine. I'm not competing. I don't have to answer to anyone except myself, God, my mom, and my son. And I'm good. I don't need, you know what I mean? And it couldn't be more of a perfect time, I feel, to do this book. So this has been so important and the right time to do it. I was approached a few years ago and I knew I wasn't ready yet.
Mm-hmm. Timing is really important. I think it plays a role in skating, like peaking at the right time, but also time for a book or time to retire or time. All of these things need to come at the time that they're meant to come, and pushing and forcing something too soon is, yeah. Sometimes you just have to take a step back and let things unfold the way they're meant to, even if it isn't in the time frame that other people would like it to be in.
Right. You got to go on your own time. And, the universe definitely conspires how things happen. And, like we said it earlier at the beginning about trusting the process. And I think trusting the process is really difficult because you can't always know, well, what is this teaching me? Why is this happening to me? And you just need to keep kind of like, I'm just going to let it go and let's see what happens here. And it's kind of blind jumping sometime of trusting the process and allowing yourself to do that as well is not an easy thing, really.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that letting go of control and trusting someone else or a process or anything like that is a humbling experience, but it's also, taking off your investment in it and allowing something else to guide it versus taking control. That's really hard to do because things are happening to you and you want to be an active participant in your life. And sometimes you have to step back and let someone help you or let the process lead the way. And that is harder than taking control. Much harder.
Yes.
Much harder. Much harder. But I think just throughout life, we learn, the greatest thing about life is that no matter what we do, we learn something new every single day.
Yes.
And, that's just the most incredible thing. even if you're sitting at home, you still learn something new every day. It's really unbelievable. And I'm just very happy to be alive and moving forward with my life. And I hope I can share it with everyone.
So you are a mom now. Tell us, have you taken your child skating?
Yes, he's actually in skate school. And I don't want him to be a skater. I do not. He wants to do hockey, but it's more of, I don't want you to skate, but I want you to know how to skate. So he's enjoying it. He has fun. It's really cute. I don't see much talent there. But I think it's great to he does gymnastics, he swims, he's very nonstop. Nonstop.
But letting him do all of these things and exposing him is going to give him an opportunity to pick the things that he loves the most.
Right.
Absolutely.
And pursue them.
And that's what I really want, for him to really enjoy something. And, it's important when you do see a child have a certain talent in a specific area that you go all in to help them achieve that. And that's really what happened in my life. So, it's just great. I love being a mom.
Aww.
Yeah, I do.
Now, you're out there skating too, right?
I am attempting to. I make little 30-second videos on my Instagram. I usually weekly. Sometimes I get too caught up with things, like right now I'm, pulling my hair out of my head trying to find the right kindergarten for my child. And so I haven't been able to make it to the rink. I might be able to make it this afternoon, but life happens. So I can't, dedicate myself to be like, I'm going to just start skating again. Plus my body's older and the mind is good. The mind's like, yeah, you can do that. And I get out there and I'm like, no, you can't, honey. So, but I still have fun out there, and that's what I like to do. And then I coach a little bit.
Oh, okay. How cool is that?
I don't have many students, but I actually really love working with adult skaters a lot because that's no pressure. Like we're actually enjoying the lesson more and moving forward with stuff with no like, well, this is my goal and I want to get this jump by this time. But whoa. And the thing is, like, I don't find myself to be a really great coach. My students say, like, they love how I explain things, but they're older. So I can like talk to them differently about feelings and stuff when they're doing something. I just want to be able to have the opportunity to, if some skater does come up to me and be like, hey, can you help me with the choreography on this program, that I'm able to do that. So I have all my license, all my safe sport, all that fun stuff. And I skate at a rink, and obviously that's very close, and they're a great little family. They've been really supportive, and it's like home. It's like your second home. Really, I'm like a little apartment for me on the side, because that's literally you're either at home or at the rink.
Are you getting requests to teach your iconic spiral?
Not so much. I feel like it's very sacred, and it's really funny because there really wasn't like some special formula to it. I think it all just depended on where your body weight was and the length of your legs also. That makes a big difference. I'm not tall now compared to some of the skaters out there now, but when I skated, I was much longer from my knee down, and usually skaters had like they were shorter. They were bow-legged, which is actually better for jumps. But I had longer legs, and I think the way I tilted my body into a spiral, and then of course, the flexibility made all the difference. Because you can, people like Sasha were like 20 times more flexible than me, but the way she did it was so different that it was not comparable. You know what I mean? So
I miss those spirals. I miss them because now with no one is holding a spiral long enough. It's just part of a choreographic sequence. So I missed those your iconic spiral and the ones that came after you with it. So
I think I said on Paulina's podcast, like, I just want to see a beautiful layback. Just a plain layback. Don't grab your foot. Don't put it to your head. Don't do nothing. Just beautiful arms. Just the most simple little thing can actually be so effective that people aren't just doing anymore.
No.
And I hear it from more and more people how they miss, like they love how skating has progressed, but I think you still gotta keep the main ingredients.
The essence of what makes it special. Yes. I think.
Yeah.
So do you watch a lot? Did you watch Worlds? I mean, we had Worlds in Boston, which
I did watch Worlds. I did do a podcast with Paulina about critiquing, and it was really hard to not give my honest opinion sometimes, but I was as nice as could be, because it's not about tearing the other skaters apart. It's just my eye from what I see and what I've known and what generation I grew up with. So I did have to watch. I actually watched it twice because I had to take notes and know their names, and most of them I couldn't even pronounce. And talk about the stuff. And the skating is so different now about, well, this is half turn and this one's doing this one didn't do it. I'm just kind of like, I'm watching skating I'm just watching what they're doing. I'm not watching like, oh, she lost points there or she got more points there. Like, I want to see just the skate. Let me just watch the skate. You know what I mean? And I understand, though, it's different, that it all depends on the points and stuff. So you can watch it from that kind of eye, or you can watch it like, I just want to see the whole program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's how I watch it. I'm not looking at like, oh, she gets more points because she did that.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we are often now with skating, watching it like we should have an Excel sheet in our head that's tabulating, and that's hard to do.
It is hard. Yeah.
And you still have to find a way to appreciate performances without thinking about the score. And one of the things that Gina and I have talked about on this podcast is everyone has a different goal in the sport, and sometimes it's not to win, even though, yes, we all want to win. But I mean, there are smaller goals along the way.
Right.
And each skater has their own ability, and some are better than others. And so for the skater who finishes 15th, that is a huge accomplishment for them, potentially. And being happy and supporting and accepting that versus, well, you're only 15th. That's not, there's so much more to skating than the top three. Like, there's so much more. And sometimes those performances that are not in the top three can be just as beautiful in their own way, in a different way.
Absolutely. I'm in total agreement with you on that. Yeah.
So we're heading into an Olympic season here. You know what that was like. So do you have any advice to the skaters as they're preparing for this Olympic season, or anything at all about, what we're in for as we go into this Olympic season?
That's always hard to say. I mean, I would think by this time, with all the skaters that make the team, they've been obviously skating long enough to make the team and know themselves of what works and what doesn't work, that they're able to not let those rings override you. Of course it is Olympics. You work your whole life to make the Olympic team, and then you're there and you're like, and some they do great, and then others, freak out over it. It is normal. We are human. I think it's all about them also strategizing with their team and their coaches of, look, this works really well for us, and we're going to continue doing that. And I want you to, be focused, but attempt to enjoy the moment also, which is like, because they're always like, oh, just go out there and have fun. Okay. All right. And, you fall 3 jumps and you're like, yeah, I'm done. You're done, but you still have to finish your program, and it's just like, I want to get off. I want to stop. I'm done. You already know you missed the spot where you dropped so many points and there's no way you're coming back from it. And that's really difficult. I've been in that position where you miss those elements and you're like, I just lost it. And there's nothing that I can do about it. And I have to keep going. And I have to still smile. And I have to still be okay. And that's hard. But I think the girls and the guys now have so many outlets now for help with their mental strategies out there that the tools are there. You just got to use them correctly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You speak about mental health, and that again reminds me, it's becoming much more common for people to talk about it. But back in the 90s, I don't remember ever reading a skater talking about any mental or emotional struggles, ever.
No, I think we all did kind of like, some people were able to meditate or visualize the program. Didn't work for me, really. I tried it, but it worked I believe it used to work for Michelle, but we do have all of these outlets now these days to help us. I work with an alignment coach that I started working with right before this book. My agent actually set me up with her, and Todd, the editor, said, we want you to be okay during this process. And I started talking with Miss Jamie, and she helped me tremendously, of just being in line with myself. And as I'm going to say again, trusting the process, so I needed her, and I'm talking to her tomorrow. I think we do have all those things out there for us to help us, but they're not always going to come to you. You got to reach for them. You got to find them. You got to invest in yourself to better yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, we really appreciate you coming on and talking with us. And I think it would be cool to have you come back maybe a couple of months after the book is out. So people have had a chance to read it. Maybe we can get some of.
I might be in a cabin in Alaska where like movie misery, like hiding out, and like Nicole's gone off the grid. You don't really see it. You know what's going on. No, it won't be that.
Yeah, that way, some of our listeners who read it are able to send in some questions, because I'm sure that it's going to bring up some of that. When people are reading it, they're probably going to have some questions about.
It's going to hit every nail.
Yeah. So we'd love to have you come back and talk about it then. Can you let folks know where they can find you on Instagram? Because I know we've talked about that. So what's your handle on Instagram?
Oh, it's Nicole Bobek 77. And I put a lot on my storyline. Just those are more like daily things, like little fun videos of me always in my bikini dancing, or things like normal things, with my son, skating, music, quotes, friends. Sometime I repost something for my friends, and then I try to at least once or twice a week. Sometimes it's a little bit more. I'll post on my regular post a skating video. So if you go on my page, you can scroll down and see all the videos I've done, and a great promo video for the book and everything, which is really great. And it's good stuff.
And can people pre-order the book already on Amazon?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Not quite
Okay.
Yet. They will be able to, but when I have that date and everything, you guys will know.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Then we can share it. We want to get it out there so folks can get that.
And we want to get our copies too.
Yeah. I want to read it. I'm interested because, like I said earlier in the podcast, this is when I really got back into skating and watching it again. And I remember the stories. Like, I know what I've read, so I'm always fascinated by what is put out there in the media versus what is real and what is true. And it's not that I question that or think that the media is always wrong. It's just that they always leave parts out that either they can't say or they don't want to say. I always want to get to the truth and the real story.
Yeah. Well, this pretty much will we'll lay it out thick for you.
Excellent.
And I have my soup mug ready.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of This Week in Skating. Remember, you can keep up with us throughout the week by visiting our website at www.thisweekinskating.com. Connect with us on social media for additional updates. You can find us on Twitter at This Week in Skating without the E's, or Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at This Week in Skating. You got a burning question or feedback for Gina, Daphne, or Matteo? Reach out to us via social media or drop us an email at thisweekinskating@gmail.com. And if you're really enjoying the show and want to support us further, consider joining our Patreon community at patreon.com/thisweekinskating. Until next time, have a nice week.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.